I always like to start it off where it's like I'd make it go live, and then I just wait a super long time, and then I just walk in like this. This is still the angle we're going with. It puts a nice focus. I need to clean these guys up. It puts a nice focus on whatever project we're working on, which is always cool. Today we're just painting. I think it's what I'm probably gonna be doing the most on these live videos is painting, because there's no big machines going on. There's no loud noises where people can like just bow out super easy. Hey, what's up, man? So yeah, I think painting makes it a lot easier. These are already primed, and then with a layer of silver on them. So yeah, little stuff like this I think is good. Just to not go too super duper crazy with whatever, like tools and stuff like that. That's easier to be done on my own time anyways. And I realize I need to open up a new Facebook tab so I can look at my pictures for the Iron Man armor, because we need to start doing all of the quote unquote detail work in paint. I have to make sure I have black and brown, and maybe even some muddled gray. I don't know. Let's see. Chocolate bar and then dark chocolate. This brown is always like a chocolate color. They always name it chocolate. Like, I'm not gonna. It makes me want to drink the paint, even though I know that'll straight up kill me. Like some kind of darker gray. I think this one I've opened before, so we'll use that. These are just apple barrel paints. We like to keep them super duper simple. This brown is always like chocolate color. Oh no, what am I doing? That was so weird. I just accidentally opened a new page watching this, and it was like behind. So it was like where I was talking about paint. I just need to go to my photos, and I need to bring up references for Iron Man. This is, which shoulder is this one? Goes like this. It's the left shoulder, so I need to pull up a reference for the left shoulder. I don't want to do anything with the helmet tonight. We can put that down. And well, maybe before we start painting, we might mess with one of these boots. I guess we have left and right shoulder to do, so it doesn't super matter which one we start on. I just wanted to get done. That's the left shoulder right there, and it's a good picture of it. Move this stuff out of the way. Zoom up. Yeah, that is not great quality. Let's see some of these next ones. Sorry, no kite this week. I hate to let you down. I will make a kite like sometime eventually, but the next convention isn't for another month or so. I won't have to be dressed up as Kite Man. He's not on my Worlds team if I get qualified, which is smart planning, so I don't have to work Kite Man down there. So yeah. But we're totally making a kite like one of these days. Like, yeah, totally. Now we're gonna make a kite. I wish the resolution didn't bite the dust when I look at these guys. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. So basically, you just kind of have to look at the shading, see how it looks. All right, cool. Let's grab some brushes. I kind of like this one for like dry brushing. I think we dry brush black over the whole thing. It's gonna make it look pretty cool. Black mixed with a little bit of the pledge here. Well, I guess there's no reason to mix it if we're dry brushing. So yeah, and then we're gonna do darker black and brown with this little brush and really muddy it up pretty much along every like little crease. Yeah. And then let's see. Yeah, we need to do creases in there. Oh, thank you so much. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm very happy with how a lot of the props turned out, and I'm very happy with the suit I got for it. So that's really cool. I always love hearing good feedback about it. That's really awesome. But no, yeah, I love that suit. Love that suit to death. I love Endgame. I mean that cap is just it's just next level dope. Here, do this. All right. Had to buy more black paint. You don't normally run out of these acrylics super often. So I'm gonna cut the stupid thing on it. There we go. Dope. It's always good to shake up your paints. You gotta shake up your paints from time to time. You gotta make sure they're not, gross. Okay. That was kind of a bit more black than they probably need. Let's go. Let's try our happy trees here. Don't totally want it to be like on the sides of the brush anyways. So like literally just like something like that is all we totally need. Oh yeah. Yeah, man, I like that. I want it to look scratchy. Kind of see how we're. Don't want to totally overdo it. Like, let's get some wear on these edges. Kind of see how it's kind of making it look a little more not shiny, brand new Mr. Stark, like metal. Instead, it's looking like it was rolling around in a cave in the desert for a little while, which is what we're going for. Yeah. We can try to get a little darker and deeper on these higher points. Should really turn my phone off. That's okay. I think that's looking pretty good for right now. We'll scuffing it up. I think we're kind of beating most of the paint off of it. So we'll go ahead and take some from our paper towel here. We're going to go ahead and use some on the inside just to wear off any excess there might be. There's not a ton of it, so we can go back. We're going to have to take more from the original pool. That's a bit dark. You can always just kind of rub a little bit of the excess off with your finger. So like that ended up looking a little dark. So I just kind of smudged it around. Like this stuff, that's a little too dark. But you just pat it away with your finger. And it looks tinted. So instead of being it's black paint on something, it looks like the silver there is instead of looking like the silver there is just darker. That's kind of what we're really going for. We don't want it to look too much like there's just black paint on something. It's like this. I want there to be a dark edge around that ring. And I think that looks really good. I think it's kind of the look I'm going for right there. Along the inside doesn't really matter that much. I just want to add it though. It's important to have. Yeah. I think that's looking pretty good. Still a little shiny. Still a little shiny. We should fix that with a little bit like that. Oh, yeah, that looks pretty nice. All right, cool. This side, I just want it to be worn in to give a little bit more contrast to the top parts. I really want to hit the bevels the most because they're the highest. So at any point when there's a high rise, it's going to get worn down the most. The normal of this is silver. The paint chips off from silver. It's a darker metal color. That's why we're using black. So yeah, right on. Like that. And that's pretty cool. Pretty cool so far. I guess that's going to be more touched up with whatever, so I don't need to totally go crazy on a town on the middle parts. Kind of just to dilute that a little bit. It's still spread it out more, and it won't look so heavy. Just don't want it to look super heavy on the those parts. I think most of this is looking really good. You go through this, which is just like a nice silver just bar, you know. It's looking kind of nice. Foggier. Really want this corner to be scuffed up. Don't want it to be borderline black scuffed up. Just want it to be darker tone scuffed up. There we go. Yeah, man, I like that. That looks nice. I need to keep it more in frame with the camera. No, I have a bad habit. I have a super bad habit of that. I want it to get really dark under there so it doesn't look like I miss any parts of it. Should have taken a before and after picture of this. I think it still could look a little bit darker in some spots. Had a bit more black. Probably should use a paper towel. Like in all reality, probably shouldn't be using a paper towel because it's going to soak up a lot of the paint. And we want to just take the paint off the brush without totally like soaking it up. So like you see how, how kind of lighter the brush is instead of being darker black. Just going to dip just like once with it. See, sort of not really. We're going to dip in once. Then we're going to do a couple little dabs there. Then we'll go 1, 2, then we'll kind of get it on the rest of the brush. So it's not super heavy on the rest of the brush. Instead, it's super light on the rest of the brush, and we're using that excess paint to take it off the top, move it down the brush heads more. And then we'll kind of do that. You see how much really dark? We want it to be the consistency of like this, kind of around here. You see there's these two really dark spots. We want it to be in this middle area right there to be like about the best. And I think it's there now. Easy to put paint on, it's hard to take it off. So that's why I'm always kind of worried when I weather stuff. You know, it's very, Bob Villa and Bob Ross in one video. Also, thank you, Josh. Yeah, I don't know. I just think the paint is a lot more, it's a lot more interesting to watch in a video than all of the big loud noises most of the machines make. And I'm going to be doing a lot of painting anyways. So this is like a big screw bolt thing or whatever, you know? So I want to get around the edges how any normal screw is going to get stripped, you know? So instead of like showing the damage, like in the foam itself, I want it to be like apparent in the paint job. I want the paint job to bring out damage more than just actually. Well, I'm glad I get to hone some of the greatest. That's really cool. Yeah. So like, and the reason I'm like moving my hands all the way around it is because once you dry brush, the paint is already so like, obviously it's wet enough to go on, and then it's wet enough for me to rub it away. But unless I actually really try to rub it away, it's not going anywhere, and not a lot is ending up on my hand anyways. So yeah, it dries pretty quick when it's not super wet paint. We need to go in there. See, that was a little too dark. I'm gonna keep adding to it though. Brush it away. Grab a little paper towel here. And now it's not too dark, but it's that dark silver, which is cool. Really like get the edges. That's really sweet. I think that works really well. Yeah. This entire under part can be slightly darker, won't be as easy to see, obviously, as the rest of this, but I think if we add a little bit of paint to it, it's going to add depth to the overall build. So that's really cool. Yeah, you can see the paint seeping in. Yeah. Oh yeah, this is the inside part. This inside part has gotten like none. I want to keep my brush strokes coming one way on this to kind of show most of the damage is coming from. Let's focus more on the under part here. This can be a little bit darker, a little bit murkier. So if you paint straight up on it like this, the part that's going to get the most, don't know if you can see that very well, are the two edges, which is really important because obviously the edges in the high rise are what going to get worn down the most. So when it kind of has that scrape bit, I really like that. It's one of my favorite things. Paint the inside a little bit. We can make it a little darker. Honestly, we can use really black paint, and we can use it to make our brush dry out, because the inside, this paint is, see, way too dark. That's like straight up a broad brush stroke. So take that little paper towel again, makes it look a little bit nicer, you know, so that's cool. cool thing, yes, talk about Bob Ross, is that the way we're doing it, happy little accidents aren't too bad. We're not painting a beautiful scenic tree grove, so our happy little accidents on this guy are not as terrible as they would be for any like Bob Ross style stuff. Like it's still not great to make a mistake, but it's a little more forgiving. And this is how when this is like the way we're doing it, kind of. So you keep looking at that. I know where I'm going to add the more, the more rusty looking stuff. And that's all going to be in these creases here and here. Let's go ahead and add a little bit to the inside. So, you know, you're not going to be seeing a ton of this when you're on the con floor when you're cosplaying, but it's important to do just so it's not super contrasted when anyone does catch a glimpse of it. And when you're moving, the under part of your arm will, you know, obviously has high potential to be seen. So we can put paint on a brush, and here on the uppermost part, we can use it to dry off, because definitely no one is seeing that. Probably the part most people will see are the sides of the arm. Add a little bit there. I think that looks nice. Get a little heavier on this. And we can always go back and add more paint. You know, you always take a little bit off if you want to. So that's really cool. Super, super forgiving technique. It is a little bit obviously harder to remove paint than it is to add it, but it's not impossible. And if we still have a little bit on the brush, we just don't want to make it as broad of the strokes. And I think a really big grease spot like that is not terrible either to have, especially on the inside. Okay, that one, that's a bit much. That's a bit dark. I think that's better. It's a lot better. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. This can totally be seen. How do I like that? Should it be darker? Let's look at a reference image really quick. Could be darker here, here. The light's kind of fading in. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit there. It's a bit much. It's better. Something like that is cool. All right, nice. I think I like that a little bit better. Let's unzoom from this page. Double check some more. reference images. They're gonna look a little fabby. Stupid X-Jet Blackbird boy. All right. Let's see. Yeah, man, I like that. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Cool. Oh, okay, that's it for dry brushing. So we can go ahead and try to get this brush cleaned off a little. Then we can go ahead. I think we're gonna do a little bit of a different kind of paint mixing. We're not gonna want to use a paper towel for it though. We are gonna use like the flip side of this. So yeah, it kind of bled through just like how much paint that we were using. So a lot of it bled through. Dry off these brushes. I don't know how long these ones have been sitting in there. Forgotten to take them out. I leave brushes in the water all the time. It's probably not good for them, but just kind of forget. I don't want to pull at the bristles. I just kind of want to just let them know I'm there. All right. So now, what we're gonna do? I about to pick this one up and drank from it. Oh Lord, that'd been bad. That'd been super duper gross. Let's grab. Let's do like a piece of cardboard. Something like that. Something kind of good. Something kind of a little good, a little bad. Here. Go ahead and we'll recycle this bad boy. It's not like I don't get a million of those. Anyways, I'm gonna do chocolate. Well, they're both chocolate. Dark chocolate, chocolate. I'm gonna go dark chocolate. Mix a little bit of black. I'm gonna go dark chocolate first. That should be enough. All right. Let's see what magic we can make happen. We're gonna put these guys on opposite corners. I don't want too much black because it's just gonna make it crazy dark. Let's go ahead. We'll move the paint down. All right. Yeah. How does that look? That's cool. I know like all my hands are totally like hiding it. But as we're trying to mix these two a little bit here, get a little bit of a darker consistency. Like sort of like rust. Not quite, like totally. I just want to really show. That's the way we're gonna go. We're gonna go and we're just gonna go to town. We're gonna mix these both piles together here. See what we get. Might as well. It's not like this paint doesn't cost like 50 cents a bottle, so it's not exactly gonna break the bank. We waste a bunch. That's okay. What are we thinking? More brown, more black with that. Let's test it. Pretty simple line right here to follow. Pretty obvious crease that water will get stuck in. You know. You're like, Calder, that's a lot of paint to put on there. Yeah, don't worry about it. Do not worry about it. Okay. Another little paper towel here. But as you can see, use that paper towel and it just looks like a nice little line of rust in there. Looks really obvious when you do it that way, but this way, not so much. Looks a lot darker on camera. Looks like there's a ton there still. There really isn't. Yeah. But no, yeah, I like that. I like the way that looks. That's cool. Okay. Sweet. I like that a lot. Oh, nice. So yeah, this is the basic of getting rust. It's going to be a long process, but that's okay. Because it's going to look really dope. We can also just do little sections at a time. And I can totally cover this outward part in it before I wipe it off. Kind of still want it to be a little heavier there in the crease though. Yeah. Yeah, I think that looks nice. Cool. Cool. Slow and steady wins the race, but like, this is only one. It's gonna be 30 so minutes to sort of get this look on it, which is cool. That's fine. But there's still lots of armor pieces to paint. Flip it upside down. Do this part. Really make sure that it gets just a ton of paint. The wetter, the better, baby. More paint. I want to get a lot of paint in those seams. Yeah. There we go. Looking a little dark. That's fine though. The camera makes it look a lot darker than it's supposed to be, but that's okay. That looks good. Yeah. Yeah, man, I like that. So we're starting at a lot of wet paint as much as possible to try to soak into the seams there. Okay. About to hit our first little angle here. That's cool. Now that one looks like super duper dark. Clean that right up. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Oh, that's gnarly. Yeah, buddy. I like that. Yeah, man, I like that a lot. Thank you, Josh. Really appreciate that, man. I really do. Kind of help me get through here. See, I accidentally like put a little paint there, but I think it's gonna add to it. Yeah, you know, like should have taken a picture before when it was all nice, shiny and chrome and whatnot. But it's okay. I'll remember to take pictures of one of these other parts. I just realized I totally missed this part in the first time with the black. So we're just gonna go in there with a little bit of the brown. And instead of dry brushing, we're gonna put it on wet. I'm gonna take it off. That'll look nice. That'll look really nice. Yeah, so this crease right here, this like 45-degree angle crease, I didn't get any on that yet. It's a very short piece. It's very important though to get some on all these creases. And I might want to add a little bit off the point. So something like that, sort of something like that. Sort of a little bit like that. Let's see. Yeah, sort of a little bit like that. Okay. Get rid of that's a little too much like that. Yeah, man. All right, now let's do this circle, this little circle knob bit right here. So there's a cut right there that I made. It's pretty hard to see. There's a little cut. I want to absolutely drench that bad boy in paint. I want it to be like, yeah, it's rusting in that cut. That little chunk out of the metal that's missing, all the water's getting in there. A little bit more around here. Brush got a little dry. Yeah. I really need to go in that a little bit more. First, I want to take whatever I can out the top. Now, if you're counting, watching at home, I'm getting a lot more paint on my hands now. Yeah. See, I like that. You can tell where that little cut is now more. Now I got some paint in there. So that's really cool. Super duper. Let's add a little bit more right there. Take it away a little bit. Circular pieces. I think it's pretty cool. Do a circular motion on some of them. It's looking a little dark still. Let's grab a little bit more. Gonna wet it a little, just because I think a bit too much of that paint is on there. Yeah, man, I like that. That's a bit better. This part is still super duper dark. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I like that now. Realize I didn't hit any of this with the dry brush. So that's not good. So we're gonna add a little bit. Take a little bit away. I kind of hit this side a little bit more, I guess. There's another little crease, little cut in the metal and the foam. This is elbow piece. So, I mean, technically it's bicep elbow. It covers the whole portion of this part of the arm. So it covers the shoulder and the bicep. And there are forearm pieces that go on, so which is really cool. So yeah, I guess there's really no elbow piece because there's no connecting joint. I mean, there sort of looks like there's connecting joints, but even in a lot of the reference images, you're like, man, I guess it's just Tony's got them beefy forearms. He's holding those up all on his own because there's not a lot. Like the legs have very obvious connectors, joints and stuff, but the arms not so much, which is really weird, really super weird. But no, yeah, this is the this part of the arm piece, which is cool. All right. Back to the lab again. I want to put a lot of paint on this little guy. So that's a little cut. And I used a lot of older foam when I built this, so a lot of it kind of has cuts and stuff that aren't really on purpose, to be real with you guys. But I like that because this is supposed to look kind of like junk, which is why I really like this armor anyways. And there's kind of a 2-layer thing here. So we're going to add to that. We're going to add to that. We're going to try to add to it. There's such a thing as too much. I'll be the first one to tell you that. Yeah, like right there, we got a little too much. It's not a bad thing, but it's just something we got to work around. I want it just in the crease, man. Just in the crease. I know, it's like all here and you can't see any of it. I'm sorry. Because what looks good to my eyes doesn't always look good to the camera. That's not bad. It's not so bad. It's a little bit of wear and tear. You can just tell. You can tell that button is a different part. That's the main. That's the main focus. Oh no. Yeah. All right, now you do the bottom part where there's this little, where the latch meets. So we got the button done. Kind of the button, I guess. But we want to get this latch part where the two pieces were not really welded together. There's no weld lines on this piece. And most of the weld lines on this armor look pretty heavy. Like you'll notice where there are weld lines on the armor. So get that a little wet, kind of. So we don't have to put our piece down. Ah, that looks nice. Yeah, man, I like that. Oh yeah, it's given 2 layers to it. It looks cool. Yeah, we kind of took a little bit too much away here. Gonna add back to it. Gonna force a little bit of paint to be friends here, to be friends. Yeah, I get it. You want the colors to get to know each other. Yeah, just like that. Just like that. No broad strokes, just little taps. Little tap. Beat the devil out. Little tap. We're not gonna beat the devil out of our little itty bitty brush. It's not that kind of brush. Doesn't have the devil in it anyways. All right. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I like that. That's cool. A bit of a rough part right here. Instead of trying to hide that, I'm gonna bring it out. I want that piece to look rough. We're gonna add to it. We're gonna add a lot to it. Then we're gonna say we add a little bit too much. We're gonna take it away. Brings it out a bit more as a scuff. Cool. That's kind of what I was going for. These little guys. I'm gonna put a lot in these little ridges here. They weren't even supposed to be here today. It's a pretty old reference. It's not that old of a reference. Sort of bring those out. Sort of not really. Those guys don't really make the world if those guys don't come out. Some more edges, like on this little U piece right here. Gonna put that in the edges here because there are some X-Acto blade marks. And those I did make. Not on purpose, but I made them. They look a little too deep. Because they're deep, we're not going to hide them. We're going to bring them out. Sometimes the mistakes don't need to be hidden. This was a nicer armor, not a super chunky, beat up, battle damage, made out of scraps armor. You might want to hide a lot of that. I think that looks good right there. It adds murk to that. It's deeper, so it looks darker, so that's totally fine. Yes, I like that a lot. Like I said, we don't have to be super heavy on the inside. I did want to get this bolt though. I want it to be all around the ring, and then I want it to be on the inside too. So we still have a ton of paint. We're not going to go through it anytime soon. I can already tell this little brush is gonna be really hard to clean because I'm getting paint all over it. All over it, yeah. So I'm getting it on the metal parts. I'm getting it up in the where the bristles meet the wood part of the brush, which is not great. I'm just seeing I might wiped away a little bit too much on this earlier. I'm gonna try to wipe it away with a dirtier paper towel. Yeah, that's better. I'm kind of gonna take any excess paint on this paper towel. I'm gonna add it to that edge. Cool. And it's not losing its silver. I'm kind of looking at it through the camera. It's not losing its silver, which is really nice. You can tell, like, obviously it's still a metal color, but it's messed up, which is dope. All right, cool. Let's get to work on this little nut and bolt here. We're gonna go to the outside ring first. Do a quarter circle, a little moon. So we're not gonna go crazy when we take a bunch of it off. Kind of took a lot of it off there. All right. So yeah, you can tell it's still really dark. Kind of want it to be. I think that looks nice. Let's double check the old reference picture here. Yeah, it's dark around that circle. Yeah, it's super dark, so that's cool. That's good. Got the under part of it. Did the other half circle of it, which is cool. Yeah, that's nice. That's nice. Let's go back to the camera here. All the way around it. It's a little dark on this end here. All right, cool. Now I want to really cover these edges on the inside, because there's no way the inside of this piece is ever getting clean. I can, come on, some old bolt. Yeah, go in there. You can go in there with a brush, but the paper towel can only take out so much. And I want that silver to shine through a little bit, but not a ton of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. We're going on the edges here a little light. Try to bring out these edges here. Yeah, going with those bite marks where the screwdriver messed it up. See, and like that just means the cut wasn't perfect when I first made it out of foam, but now an imperfect cut leads to an imperfect piece, which leads to a not bad looking roughed up piece, which is cool. All right, the bolt done. We did these bits. I want a bit more there. Let's get a checkup on your work. Those bits. I like the way that looks. We did this round part. Yes, so this half circle thing meets the rest of the armor. Yeah. I'm noticing a few more mistakes I made. when I was doing it with foam originally. Like right here, I accidentally missed with my knife. I made a little cut. Now, I want to turn that happy little accident into a worn, messed up piece of our armor. It's not too big, so it's not going to detract from anything. Yeah, I like how worn that looks in there. You can't tell from there, but once you get on the side, you can tell. It's dark, which is nice. A little bit more up top here. That looks really, really, really cool. Yeah, man. Dope. Kind of in here. Bring out those edges a little bit. Nice. Now the inside doesn't exactly get greatly, what can I say? It doesn't get greatly added to the inside if I do all these little lines and bits. This is really about all we can do for this piece. And I really like it. I think it looks really nice. I think it looks really cool, scuffed up. Because you could add lines and bits to here. Literally no one's going to see that. This is the way I made the piece. We can obviously add lines and bits to there. I'm going to add lines and bits to the inside knob here, just because we did it to the outside knob, and it's going to bother me forever if I don't do it right now. And we have plenty of paint, and guess what? We have plenty of time. Painting really makes time fly. We've been doing this for 50 minutes. Barely noticed. Painting is crazy fast. Well, that stuff is still really wet, so we'll go ahead and take it away. Yeah, it looks nice and dark. That looks a little dark there. This costume is the Iron Man Mark I armor, the one I've been working on for way too long. We're finally starting to do the more detailed paint part. So this is a shoulder piece to the Mark I, and we are just going ahead and we're adding a lot of little damage bits and weathering and rust and stuff to the paint. Because, you know, Tony Stark made this in a cave with a box of scraps. Thank you, Obadiah Stane, for telling us this. Also, people might be noticing, since I'm doing this, I'm not recording a podcast right now because new co-host, Simeon, is not by a computer this weekend. So for like the fourth week in a row, we're going to be recording on Monday, which feels like super weird. Since we normally have always recorded on Sundays with Chris, and now we've been doing them for a slew on Mondays, and we get them out Monday night, kind of Tuesday morning-ish, which I don't want to do that for the rest of the life of the podcast. That wouldn't be very good. So we're going to try to get back on a Sundays when things start working. But right now, I just want to do it where we're both on so we can both be part of the show. I don't want Simeon to have to record his own episode by himself, you know, this early on. Chris didn't make me record a lot of episodes by myself early on. You know, it wasn't until like maybe a year later where he was like, I physically won't be here for a really long time. You got to do an episode. I kind of like the way that looks. A little murkier, a little muddier. But I think that's this piece, man. I think that's this piece. I'm going to add little touch-ups. And by touch-ups, like quote-unquote touch-ups, by that I mean like rough-ups, really. That doesn't sound very cool, rough-ups, but we're going to add a little paint here and there. This piece itself might not be worn down when Tony makes the armor, but as he's wearing it, it's for sure scraping against the shoulder joint. So yeah, that's what I like right there. So add a little darker to that. really dark bit right there. Cool. So like, even though these are obviously all just flat pieces, and there's no like really big obvious like scratches and battle damage in it, it still looks really messed up just by painting it alone. So never underestimate the power of a really good paint job. Like half of those little stupid napkins did not land in my trash bag. That sucks. It's okay though. So it takes me about an hour to do each piece. That's crazy. Oh man, time to binge watch a really good show and do the rest of these. It's probably how it's going to be. Maybe I should binge watch Bob Ross, Joy of Painting. Putting it on really dark right there. Taking it off like that. Still looks warm. Still looks good. Yeah, man, I dig that. I dig that. I'm going to add a little bit here. Didn't feel like enough got on there. There we go. A little bit more. Just doing a little touch-ups here. That looks good. The inside. Not a lot of people are going to be seeing the inside. But for those that do, for any costume contest this armor might be in, it's good to have the inside done. Obviously, even if you are super inspecting it, the bits that have the pattern on them, you should not be able to see like at all because my arm's there. Yeah, that's cool. Double check the underneath again. It's not too bad. Still very, very silver here. This piece is looking a little dark. It's okay. Oh, cool. What you put on the jacket for Jay? Ooh, Jason. Jason's always spooky, crazy, cool costume. I can do that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I went to the convention I went to this weekend. I was a sort of guest at. I was helping run the cosplay competition. I was just doing the mic part. I was also helping judge. I don't think I have any ability to judge anyone at all whatsoever, costume-wise, but I was helping judge how in character they were acting and how well they did the character on stage while I was watching. And so that was the aspect I helped with, which I was really happy with, because if you gave me a 1 through 10 scale and said, judge this person's costume, I'd be like, what the hell do I know? Like sure, I know much, but like, I'm not professional by any means. But at the convention, long story short, people were like, they're looking at my Captain America shield. So I brought them so I could just put them on a table just to take up space. Like, they look really nice. But as soon as I flip them over, I noticed you didn't get rid of the diamond pattern. I was like, God, what are you, Jake? Not Jake, Justin, sorry. I know too many Coxes. I know Jake Cox, I know Justin Cox. They both do cosplay. I don't know why it'd be like that sometimes, but do. But anyways, yeah, I'm like, what are you, Justin? What are you doing? Come on, you know, talk about my diamond pattern. Cosplay person I sat next to all day was Cassandra. She's always super awesome and lovely. Also talk shit about my diamond pattern. You're not supposed to see it. Like, sure, on the con floor, you're going to see it. But in pictures, you're not seeing nothing. All right. Okay. So leave me alone. Leave my diamond pattern be. Always talking crap about the diamond pattern. You know how much dust it makes to sand off all these diamonds? Like you're going to be seeing that. Sure, you're going to see that. But you're going to see this piece you're never, ever seeing. See, like right now, I can barely show you the diamond pattern on the inside. See that? You can look through this beautiful hole here, and you can see that these pieces have diamond pattern. You know how much work it is to see that? Leave me alone. See it. It matters. Yeah, it does matter, because people will complain about it. People like you. Ugh. Complained about my freaking awesome cosplay. All right, then we're going to call that piece kind of done. And add some really weird strokes like that. And we're going to take them out. And then just covering something else with paint is really just going to help mute the overall silver of the armors, like the really silvery looking bits. They didn't get worn down enough. This is going to really just help mute them. Yeah, just because I don't want it to look that silver. Dude, you should go to Mitchell. Mitchell's freaking awesome. Yeah, you're darn right. It's real Ranchy. Thank you, Sexy Ranchman 2.0 / greatest rival in the world, Chance McCall. Dude, Mitchell's a freaking awesome convention. I freaking love Mitchell. You should 100% go to Mitchell. Mitchell's dope as hell. Like, I will also be emceeing there. I did last year, and Cassandra's also running the cosplay competition. Maybe she will. Maybe she saw how terrible of a job I did at emceeing this most recent one. First time I used a mic. I emceed the last Mitchell one without a mic because I was scared of the mic. And today I'm like, well, kind of used talking into a mic now, so let's go for it. But I didn't know that when you walk in front of a speaker, it leaves this huge loud noise, and everybody in the audience cringes, and you're like, didn't know that was a thing. My bad. So yeah, the green around my guild is showing pretty hard. There's this really gnarly cut. You can barely see it, but it's just been taunting me the entire time. I gotta fill that sucker in the paint just to really bring it out. Like, you can still, like, no one will still be able to see it, but because I noticed it, I really want to do that. Yeah, man, that's dope. That's the piece, baby. That is it. Now, what we need to do is we need to cover it in a little bit of, I think, yeah, the feedback. Yeah, the feedback is killing me. You should totally bring heavy. I think heavy's a good one to bring. Because it's like the heaviest part is the prop and then the bandolier. So it's obviously a smaller convention. It's a day con, it's one day. It's people really just kind of hang out with their friends. There's a cosplay competition more or less for fun. So like, your heavy is freaking dope. And I think we could always use more performances. So if you wanted to do the whole I am a heavy weapons guy and this is my weapon, you know, like I always love performances. And they don't do enough performances at conventions anyways. So the more the merrier, I always say. I think heavy's a good one. Firecrackers, man. See, my problem with that is, like, this paint, I can 100% control, for the most part, like 90% control, 99% control how this paint goes on that armor. Firecrackers and any type of explosive, repeat your skits, get over yourself. Come on. Like, what else are you gonna do? You're gonna sit at the table and play poker with 4 of the dudes as heavy? Like, you want me to bring my Penny Arcade and my Strong Bad costume and my Sam from Max actually is in the first one. We're gonna play Poker Night in the Inventory with heavy. Like, what else are you gonna do? Like, what other spiels do you like? Come on, like, yeah, just repeat your skit. But no, the firecrackers, those would scare the hell out of me. They would. I don't know if I can do that, man. That's a bit ballsy. That's risky. Yeah, foam might get destroyed a bit too much. You know, the original paint job might get muffed up. I think I'm gonna stick with my paint. Stick with my paint. Although now that I say that, a Poker Night at the Inventory skit would be super dope. I will say Poker Night at the Inventory would be a really fun skit. All right, I've been going for over an hour. It's 10 o'clock. Let's go to sleep, eh? Thank you, everybody who joined me in my Bob Ross-esque joy of painting and weathering the Iron Man Mark I armor. I was really happy. Everybody that came down, I like all the conversation that happened. And to anyone that is rewatching this, I hope I got you through any boredom that might have happened. I just assume the pieces are metal. Oh, no. They're not metal. They're foam. This is super, super duper light. But yeah, back to my outro spiel. Thank you, everyone who did stop in, and I will see you guys in the next one.